All right, here we are with Exalted Chronicles of Darkness, Hologram Summer, Season 1, Episode 5. We are in July 2021. I am Devin, the storyteller, and today we have...
Peter as Damien Starr, the Solar Dawn.
Holden as Raphael Vargas, Sidereal Chosen of Secrets.
Who remembers enough from last week to put themselves from last session to put themselves on the spot and briefly recap what went down?
Well, we went down the creepy basement. That was really creepy and really haunted. And
I feel haunted.
then we decided to split up. Rafi went to talk to something in the mirror, and then it turns out there were some decommissioned animatronics after the degloving incident.
You can't call it that. That was meant to be a throwaway line. It wasn't meant to be referenced every time. It's such a violent image.
Oh, it goes on the box cover. It goes on the box cover for this campaign.
Oh my god.
It's
featuring the Mantertainment degloving incident.
Degloving incident of 97.
No, you can't make this like the bite from Five Nights. No. You know what? I'm going to say probably the best thing about all the awful shit in the Mantertainment Complex is anything bad that happened to it or anything bad that happened while inside of it when it was running was the direct result of people just being that fucking stupid. Like, guaranteed, if any fucking place tried to capitalize on the idea that like people who were kids liked animatronics when they were kids, they try to make like animatronics, right? And those things, like, it's like the Boston Dynamics robot. You lose limbs in those things. You know, there'd be people trying to like harass them or touch them and stuff or put their hands on them, and they'd like lose limbs and fingers. That is exactly how stupid that would get.
I was going to say the worst part is like just how many people keep contacting us. Like, you know, shit, I would have a birthday party at the Mantertainment Complex. I'm like, oh no.
And it's like,
you've invented a successful business.
I mean, I just took what everyone is already doing and took it to the logical conclusion they're all too cowardly to do. I mean, you know, if I was a vampire in Vampire the Requiem, this would be an easy way to get blood completely guilt-free. Some guy's like gonna walk on up and he's like, oh yeah, I spent $800 on wings, bad beer, and like fucking, I don't know, game tokens, whatever people spend their money on at these places. Put it on my bill as baby formula to my credit card. Vampires can be like, no guilt. No humanity loss. I can drink that guy. Holy shit.
Sounds like we should bring it back. That's one game we're planning to, all run.
Which game was that? I don't remember.
No.
Well, the one that, we're putting together in the Discord.
Oh, God, the World of Darkness one? Spoiler alert, listeners, there's a revised edition of Exalted versus World of Darkness on the horizon, and it is a lot. Don't do it, Pete. Don't do it.
Everyone will love it.
You just have to take Resources 5, and you could just run it entirely off of Resources 5. It'd run at a loss, and you wouldn't care. Unacceptable. So, anywho,
Mantertainment Manager.
Withering phantasmagoria. Cup boils over. Jail for 1,000 years.
We go to corner jail after Sexy Pizza Rat.
Oh no! God, fuck no!
Probably the worst thing I said last session about those animatronics was them having a chest area that had like water bags in them or like fluid bladders in them, and I'm like, that's the absolute most cursed thing that popped into my mind.
Which Damien is now covered in.
It's probably just water. Let it go.
I mean, it's probably cheese.
Why would it be cheese? I don't. No,
Oh
the
my
pizza
God,
rat.
the smell.
The pizza rat had cheese.
Oh God, the smell by now. Jesus Christ.
Everything's a nightmare. Nothing is okay. Anyway, okay, so you went through the basement, killed off the last animatronics harassing you, except for I think one or two. You've blown through that list. For reference, listeners, I used like the Chinese zodiac to, sketch out the animals because it was an easy list of 12 animals. And you've blown through most of them. I think there's one left upstairs rambling about, or two somewhere.
I think there's still two to worry about. I think
Lola Bunny is one of them, and
oh my god,
it's just in
Funny
time for
Flavor
fucking
Rebel
Space
Dragon.
Jam 2. Oh.
Well, that's where she escaped to.
A nightmare. What a cursed subject. Absolutely, absolutely cursed. So, we'll begin this session where the last one left off. Damien successfully just absolutely ending a couple animatronics with his super sun-kissed fists. And we will now bring up that in Exalted Chronicles of Darkness, there is a system called Purification. It exists for Exalt characters to allow them to drag curses up out of the world around them and feed it into their essence furnace, such as it is, and purify the land. So, there are certain conditions that have to be met, and you guys constantly clowning the Mantertainment Complex and the curse on the land and beating back its, like, guardians and stuff counts. You've hit it hard enough that you can attempt a purification. So, from a gameplay perspective, I don't know how to really... I don't remember how exactly I was going to pitch how this would feel, but it's probably intuitive in some way. It's probably like a natural thing where you and... where Damien and Raphael can kind of just feel the pull of this place and it's ready to catch fire, like ready to burn away if you guys pushed it just a little harder.
Yep, especially now that we've successfully managed to navigate that broken space maze in the corridors outside once.
Exactly. So, Holden, if you'd like... Yeah, you got the map to get straight through the maze. Holden, if you'd like, you could briefly talk about purification before we get into the roll, just to kind of, preview it for people, because it's going to be happening now.
So the basic idea for purification is that it can be used to strip away curses, taints, lingering traces of the supernatural, or even ongoing incarnations thereof. Spells. It can be used to blast away infrastructure, clean up a Promethean's wasteland, that kind of thing. The rules of purification are that before you can enact it, to try to get rid of something, you have to confront that supernatural manifestation in some way and gain some kind of victory over it. If you're trying, you need to like convince a ghoul to reach out and ask you for help, or if he's been sent after you by a vampire and you'd rather save this guy than kill him, you can just beat the shit out of him and then rip the blood taint out of him. In this case, we've just spent the last several hours dungeon crawling our way through this place, beating the living shit out of its guardians, and we've successfully not only navigated the broken space maze that we're going to try and get rid of now, but we've won ourselves a map so that we can now bypass it at will. But rather than risking all of our incredibly killable... Is friends too strong a word? Friends is too strong a word.
XP rewards.
Sure. Quest objectives. Instead of risking all of our incredibly killable allies getting lost in there and mantertained, now we're just going to get rid of the twisty, recursive, horrible Escher nightmare maze and turn these corridors back into regular corridors. And we can do that because we've already confronted them and dealt with them and won a victory over them. That's purification. What you cannot do is just roll up, point at something, and go abracadabra. You got to grapple with it first.
Mm-hmm. So, I think when we were talking in the background about this, Peter is the one who's going to be taking the lead on the roll because he's got the best dice.
No, Rafi's got one more.
Oh, Rafi does? Oh, never mind. Sucks to suck, Peter, but it's not you today. All right. Did we worked on bonuses last time, didn't we? It was like I think
This
without
is
going through a
usually
fine yeah, without fine tooth combing, I think it was like +2 or +3. It ended up being just from all the little tallies we put together.
Sounds good, I guess.
yeah, something like that.
Because like you got 2 exalts there, and then there was like a miscellaneous 2 lying around, and I'm not going to go back over it. But Rafi, if you're the one who's going to be doing the purification, I believe the scene is yours.
Yeah, there was like, yeah, we won a fairly definitive victory. There are 2 of us, but on the other hand, we're a little bit rushed for time because we know those last 2 animatronics are rattling around in here somewhere. Blah blah blah. They mostly canceled out. So, yeah, what did we say? It came out to like +2.
Yeah, you know what? +2, sure.
All right, and let's see. With my
Can you spend willpower on this roll?
yeah.
Okay,
Well, hold on a
because
second.
listeners might care.
Don't see anything saying I can't.
Use your excellency.
Yeah, you can't boost it with magic.
Ah,
You cannot boost it with charms. Willpower, though, yes, I could. How much willpower have I got still? Shit, actually, I don't have a lot left to use at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. It costs a mote. It is stamina plus resolve plus essence plus any modifiers, so 9 dice. Wow. Okay. That's
Did you not get a single goddamn
unexpected.
success?
No, I got 5 of them.
Nice.
huzzah.
I'm glad you recovered all that willpower you've spent.
Yeah, okay. Exceptional success on. Wow, okay. Yes, an exceptional success on purification. Consumes the supernatural power of the target, and it gives you all your willpower back as that power rushes through you.
Awesome.
Which in my case,
Okay.
I was missing 1, but puts me back up to 5.
So, what do Rafi's actions look like to an outside observer of huddled, spooked bait? Here down here with you.
That would be Raffi walking just a little bit out the door and into the corridors. I assume accompanied by Damien.
Sure.
What's Damien? So Raffi is going to, still holding that map in one hand, spread his arms out a little bit, close his eyes, and breathe in the musty, funky, now horribly stale cheese-smelling air of the Mantertainment tunnels. Probably spilled hydraulic fluid too. God help us, that was a bad idea. Taking a deep breath, and there's sort of almost like a responding movement in the air, like the entire tunnel is drawing in towards him. What's Damien doing to back me up on this?
Probably still very similar with the breathe in, breathe out stuff. Just taking it all into himself and.
It seems a component of this that you're both kind of leaning into is engaging with the element, like dragging it into yourself and like interfacing with it, getting a taste for it.
Then after catching what feels like a ragged edge of this fucked up power cycling through the complex, Raffi raises a hand, stretches it out in the darkness, and slowly makes a fist. And you tell me what gathers there.
The physical space of this place, it doesn't warp vulgarly or obviously. Like there's no like CGI effect in front of you guys where things go whoa crazy like Stargate or something. But what does happen is the lights go out, but the bulbs are still They're still lit, even though you're in complete darkness at this point. Even if your animal bonfire was going, it's completely dark. The bulbs are still lit, and then other bulbs flicker into life like stars in a void. And you guys are on a mountaintop, but no mountaintop you would recognize on Earth, because because there's something in the sky above you larger than sight and heavier than anything on this planet that you just can't really put your eyes up to. But you're on this mountaintop, and there's this shrine here. It's made of marble. There's a podium in front of it. There's people, people clearly from a world of antiquity talking that you maybe have a feeling you recognize. And staring at you on the other side of that shrine through an alcove is a man-shaped creature made of black night and metal and shadows and remnants of the grave, with a mask bolted to its face and a mechanical arm, and it's just staring at you two, not at anyone in the scene, at you two, like it knows you, like it recognizes you. And as you breathe in and taste the must and the stench and the weirdness of whatever's infected this place, there's no real way for you guys to properly map this to your senses, but it tastes like your enemy. And then you're back in the Mantertainment Complex as, like, the sun, whatever light is providing here, gets eclipsed by the thing in the sky, and everything goes dark again.
Raffi's fist snaps shut.
Oh, right. I have to explain what the place looks like now, because everything's different. Yeah, when things clear up, like when you guys kind of readjust to looking at the world the way you're used to looking at it, this is just some fucking basement. There's nothing here. Like, it's a basement underground that has some nice tiling. There's nothing auspicious about it. There's nothing special about it. It's just matter. You can see where the hallway you had to go is. It's just down there. Absolutely everything unique and foreboding and creepy is gone. You're just a bunch of adults in an abandoned building doing after hours abandoned building exploration.
Raffi staggers against the hydraulic fluid splashed wall just next to him. Okay, that was new.
Yeah.
Damien, did you see?
I saw something, not sure what, but I probably will see it soon again.
God, I hope not.
I mean, can't be worse than what we've already seen.
He looks back at the rest of the group, kind of gauge where they are.
Like that kitchen you're in, like all the rot is gone, all the Silent Hill effect is gone. It's just a musty abandoned kitchen now. Even the rot that was in the blood bags in the fridge are gone. It's just old rotten blood now. They're looking around. They're not okay. So the people you've earmarked as supernatural, Amelia, Korg, Zet, and I think Finn the Ghoul, they seem like they're perked up, like something's wrong here. Except for Finn. Finn seems like he's a little disoriented. All the quote-unquote normal people, the bait, they look befuddled. They look fuzzy. There's a look on their face like they're not quite... There's something off about them now. So I put the floor to you two.
Off like people who just saw a big, weird bunch of gods on a mountain, or like
they're not as
freaked out.
They're not as... It's not that they're not as afraid. They're clearly upset about something, but they don't have that look that people have when they're in a crisis situation and they have to absolutely focus. Like whatever you call it, serotonin, adrenaline, whatever that thing is that if you're under high stress situations just pumps through your system and wrecks you. They don't have that look on them. Cortisol, yeah. Not there. It's more like people who maybe saw, like, maybe they were doing some after hours exploration and, there was an accident or some of the equipment almost hurt someone. They're like, oh my God. They look calm.
You all okay back there?
They all, say yes. Not any one of them kind of stands out from the other, and are all like, "Oh yeah, let's just wrap this up and head home." Like they're just something.
Eyes over to Amelia and quirks an eyebrow.
She'll take you guys to the side and kind of just talk as Corgan's that are milling about in the background. What the hell was that?
We're still figuring it out ourselves.
You did something. It fucked with something in here. I had spells up and they're gone now.
Spells, you say?
I have things in motion. Okay, well, the obvious one was that one I put out to bait you guys here. I can't feel it anymore. It died. Which is a bit of a pain in the ass, because I sometimes get rewarded from that if the hunt is completed.
Well, considering what we're baiting people into, that's probably for the best.
I guess. It's just, Yeah. You did something. You did something weird. I don't know about it. But it seems to have alleviated the problem here, so hey, why not? I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to roll with it and not ask questions. I am fundamentally incurious as a wizard about this problem right now.
Clearly we know she's not a mage then.
Yeah, no, she's not going to add this as one of her aspect of sessions if she was an unawakened, which she's not. Fuck. She's not some awakened down here in some goddamn Chuck E. Cheese's. Are you kidding? Actually, this is exactly what a awakening mage would do. They'd be rooting around in the filth in a Chuck E. Cheese's looking for secrets. Who are we kidding? Those guys are dumpster divers.
I mean, we've played them. We know what they are.
We know what mages are like. The weakest splat in Chronicles of Darkness. That's canon. Anyway, so what is your next move?
Well, we do have this map that leads somewhere. Maybe there's a treasure where the exit lies.
Yeah, treasure. He glances over at Finn.
I mean,
He looks
here for, right?
He looks just like the other people. Like there's something off about him now. There's something off about all of them now. So you got your map.
Percept or something?
Yeah, I think it's probably best if we assume the animatronics are still...
Oh, you hear a bunch of crashing near the elevator, and two of the animatronics that were still out there crash on down, like cold as stone, like not functioning. Like they were crawling down the elevator shaft to hunt you guys. After they called the elevator all the way up and then went under the under it, and they just smashed to the ground at that mention of it, Sidereal or Solar, whoever mentioned it.
Okay, well, that's all right. That's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the purification are that to know that they get rid of everything at the same time, but...
Oh, don't worry about it. This is a thing that's happening. I've taken it a step further for context.
Also, I don't know if the elevator's going to run with all that shit at the bottom. We maybe have to clear that out before we leave.
I mean, the people here can start clearing that shit out for you guys and get the elevator down. While you guys go and check out the last room.
Yeah, let's I'm sure I'm going to kick myself for this later, but could you guys start clearing that stuff out of the elevator shaft while we go investigate this last chamber?
Everyone's like, yeah, absolutely, sure, yeah, okay, no problem. We'll work on this, you work on that, teamwork, and they just start doing it, not even hesitant.
Yeah. For some reason, to Raffi, it just doesn't feel like it's a death warrant to split up anymore.
Yeah. They just start doing it. Routine, pulling stuff out of there, clearing stuff, checking if anything got broke along the way. Some of these people know, mechanics. Not elevator, not Otis, whatever certified, and elevator mechanics, but they'll pull stuff out of the way.
So we take Amelia and whoever else seems inclined to come, and let's
Korg
head
and
on to X
Zet.
marks the spot.
All right, so you two, Amelia, Korg, and Zet, head on down. The rest of the basement leads to what looks like a large master room or some sort of like central kind of important room. Large fancy doors, bit of red and gold aesthetic with like carvings of angels and lions and fanciful animals on it in like nice kind of block embossing. The doors clearly open. You guys are going to open them. It's not like you're going to dick around in front of the entrance for a while. This interior room, had you come in here before you purified it, would have looked totally different, but it doesn't look like that anymore. It looks like a, the Parthenon in Greece, where it's like pillars and the roof, and then there's like steps going up to it, and there's like a whole temple inside. This is kind of like that on the inside. There's like columns. There's like a nice kind of central area that raises up onto steps. There's a big desk kind of in the middle-ish of the room, along with like meeting areas and art. And at the very back, there is a huge fucking hole in the ceiling where an enormous, like, can fit 3 adults inside of its safe fell crashing from its anchor points and smashed into the floor and embedded itself in, door side down. The walls of this room have alcoves that are carved into them that used to look much more complex than they did, but you took care of that. But the alcoves are like full of junk and electronics and glass and like spilling water. Kind of green fluid that's just pouring out in mass now. There are wooden mannequins everywhere that are pouring out of these alcoves. The alcoves kind of look like burial chambers in like Skyrim or like Egyptian tombs, where it's just shelving units for bodies, like a mausoleum, I guess. And these mausoleum alcoves all have like glass and machinery in them that just burst. Wooden dolls everywhere. There's little machines on the floor that have just stopped moving. There's tanks and rusty steampunk machinery that looks like it was brought in and doesn't fit, made out of like pinball machines and old boilers and arcade runoff and probably animatronic stuff. There's 2 broken animatronics down here that just look like they fell over and fell apart. You've come into an after scene and you're not quite sure what the before looked like. But it's all very
God's
recent.
green earth.
So, if you guys are...
Vampire Lairs this.
As you're walking by from like under some furniture, one of those wooden mannequins starts crawling out next to you. It looks like it's half finished. Like literally its bottom half isn't there. It was growing like a tree and it doesn't have hands. It has hands, but there's no fingers. They're just like little round cups with like that are kind of slender, kind of like a store mannequin. And it's like crawling near you, whimpering, trying to like put its arm around your leg and like grab onto you. That's like a completely smooth face.
So Raffi's like up on top of the big iron sarcophagus now?
Oh, yeah, the sarcophagus is covered in that mold shit. It's gone from everywhere else, but it's still here.
So does the little animatronic want the mannequin?
The mannequin is trying to grab, well, it was trying to grab Raffi's leg. Now it's trying to grab your leg, and it's just making whimpering sounds. All the mannequins here are vaguely making whimpering sounds, and they're slowly getting quieter and quieter.
I just pick it up and look at it.
It's light, it's made of wood. It's soft. It has moisture to it. It's not like something that was carved. It's something that grew like a tree outside. It looks like it's been sanded and polished in the vague mannequin-like shape of a person with like ball joints and stuff. Its face is completely smooth. It just makes sounds that emanate from inside its head. If you look at the parts of it that aren't formed, there's like wood pulp inside and like this water just oozing and dropping out, and the mold is inside of it. Like it's covered with that moldy infection on the inside of its core, like a tree that's gone bad.
Slightly gross and disturbing, but less so than the previous ones, so it's refreshing. This is good.
Yeah. Something's different in here. Amelia and Korg and Zet are scoping the area out. Amelia beelines for the computer on the desk because it also has the mold still onto it and it's like flashing images on its screen.
Carefully avoiding the mannequins, I'm going to amble over and see what she's turned up.
So the screen looks like, okay, so this is like a flat screen monitor. It's a modern goddamn monitor because we're in 2021. It's doing the Neuromancer thing where it's tuned to a dead channel and it's snow. And this thing has an HDMI cable.
You should jiggle it.
So that's not right. And yeah, in the static, symbols keep popping up. Just symbols, shapes, nothing that really is anything special. Like it's not like cuneiform, it's not Egyptian, it's not bad science, fantasy, Norse, or like a language you can decode on a fandom wiki. It's just symbols.
This is the Matrix.
Yeah. And Amelia's just she takes out a cell phone and starts recording it. That's all she does. That's her action in this scene. Corgan's that are poking at the mannequins and like not really wanting to interact with them. They're pulling some of the animatronics apart to make sure they're still dead, but they're ambling around like, well, now what the fuck do we do?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to do what she's doing and get a few seconds of footage as well. And also, let's see, what the hell is this computer plugged into and how far along that connection does the mold continue?
The tower for the computer is plugged into nothing anymore, just from neglect and stuff shifting around in here. And it's very clear there was an earthquake that hit this place. As you know, Miami, Florida gets earthquakes all the time, and this place got hit by one recently. So it's not plugged into anything. The tower for the computer itself, though, is like burst open with like the mold.
What do we think? Is this ground zero for whatever happened here?
Well, I think, just based on inference and what my spell was telling me before it went off, is this vampire fed on something it shouldn't have, and then it hopped from the vampire to his house, and then it hopped from his house to the computer. And I think the computer's trying to hop to us.
Well, let's really, really hope that whatever it is, it can't hop over TCP/IP protocols, or we could have a big, big problem on our hands.
Well, she's looking at some of the little machines on the ground. Like, some of them look like if you were to rip apart an old mechanical, like, vending machine or, like, those coin dispenser machines, those big, heavy steel, like, candy dispensers and gumball dispensers. There's machines on the ground that look like they're made from parts of that, but they're not animatronics. They look like they just welded themselves together. Like, crawling across the floor is what looks like some sort of big, bulky, fat spider made of rolled carbon steel and springs and gears and like ratcheting systems with a gimbal in the middle that has a sphere that seems to be some sort of like telescoping iris eye. And it's just slowly, lethargically trying to drag itself across the floor to one of those tanks and do stuff with it. And Amelia just points to it and goes, I've seen these things in other parts of the city.
What? Oh. Where?
I was doing some work in the business district or whatever you call it around here. I'm not really too sure. I'm not really from this place, but I was in the business district. I was in this office building. I was handling something, in a cubicle farm, and a bunch of the computers there had cannibalized themselves into shit like this, and the tampon machine in the ladies' room, and the mint machine in the front office, like the little coin-op mint guy. They'd all gone missing. I just didn't notice, because who would notice that? And I found them in the other building. So that's weird.
Shit. So whatever's happening here isn't just here. Great.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a related job. There's a new crypto locker virus going. Oh, you guys wouldn't know about that. There's a new virus. There's a new computer problem going around. And I was just investigating the supernatural aspects of it. And the site had these guys in it. I was able to burn it out because, it's not that hard. Magic is easy. I guess this is what the next stage looks like.
Great. Now our computers will have to wear masks.
Error. Yeah, no, she gets it. She gets it. Pandemic humor.
Uh-huh.
Christ almighty. So that's about the only thing in here big enough to have a vampire in it, I think.
I mean, there's a big safe right here. Knock, knock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting out of there.
But how do we get the treasure that we all came here for?
Do you think this is going to reinfect the place?
I think we need to find out what's going on in there, preferably without sticking our heads in.
What are you suggesting?
Well, show of hands. Who wants to find out what really happened here?
I do.
Amelia isn't really into it. I really kind of got what I was looking for.
All right, show of hands. Who wants to stand in here in the creepy, crawly killer puppet room while we find out?
How about this? Why don't you tell me what this is going to entail? Just so we know kind of what's going on. Just so we can answer this question more fully.
I think I can figure out what's going on in this thing's head and give us a look into its dreams. And maybe,
What?
just maybe,
Like,
that's where the infection is. We can drive it out again.
what, like a scanner?
A little bit more up close and personal than that.
All right.
Call it a magic spell.
Okay, I'm down for that. What'll happen? What are you gonna magic spell? Are you gonna be like comatose on the ground? Is this gonna be like a whole thing?
I've never actually been outside the spell when it went off, so I'm not quite sure what happens out here, but I sort of think not.
Okay.
I don't think we'll be in any danger out here.
Okay, well, how about this? I'll stay here and manage Corganzette and manage the people outside, just in case anything changes out here while you're doing your thing.
All right, but in case the animatronics do stand up, I'll have Damien stand back up or anything like that. I will have Damien with me.
I mean, I feel like she's like, there's no way around that. Like, all right, there's no way around that. Yeah, you guys will be inside and they won't. She's just going to have to trust that Corganzette will be effective.
All right, so what are we doing?
Yeah.
All right, well, be careful. These, I still don't. They're not moving around very quickly, but I still don't trust that anything animated by this funk has good intentions for anything. And that spider in particular looks like it could do some damage.
The spider, I should point out, is about the size of your fist.
Oh, well, shit. You made it sound like it was the size of like a small
Yeah.
bird or something.
I'm kind of an idiot, and I forgot to give you size. They're supposed to be creepy crawlies that can hide in alleyways and under trash cans and under beds and stuff. Not
No,
not
yeah,
the
you made it sound like
fucking
it was like it was 20 pounds. It's like,
no,
shit.
not the robots from that goddamn Finnish RPG, Generation Zero. They're not the Generation Zero hunter killers. Wait, not Finnish, Polish, I think. I don't remember. Generation Zero. It's not that. You're not gonna have fucking rover dogs like chasing you down made of 38 tons of metal. Okay, well, I feel like the floor is yours then for the next stage of this.
All right. Raffi steps back up onto the iron sarcophagus, thinks about sitting down on it, considers that actually somehow miraculously to this point he has not yet completely ruined this pair of pants and thinks better of it. And then says, all right, this might take a minute. Stretches out his arms, rolls back his sleeves, and then begins making passes in the air and stirring the ambient essence in the room into the desired shapes and patterns. And this is where I bust out the dice and the mechanics. I'm going to spend 2 willpower to get this ball rolling. It's an extended roll, and doing that means it's going to take intervals of 1 minute rather than the 15-minute intervals I'd be getting if I just spent 1 willpower.
Ooh.
And for reference, this is sorcery.
Yep, this is ancient sorcery. I got 1 spell gratis with my particular cast of Exaltation. Learned it in a dream. The dice pool is intelligence plus occult plus essence, which for me is 3 plus 5. Specialty does not apply. Plus 2, so 10 dice. And for this particular spell, which is Quicksilver Wings of Dream and Nightmare, I need to accumulate 6 successes. I've got 10 rolls to do it in.
Oh my god.
And each of my rolls is supposed to be contested by the composure plus power stat rating of the guy whose dreams I'm trying to break into.
So when you say contested, just to bring me back to speed, is that a subtraction from your thing, or do I roll a thing and my successes subtract from yours?
That means you roll and they're subtracted from my successes.
Okay, I know how many dice they have. I will roll that.
And I'm rolling on my end.
Fucking none. Actually, I got a 1 and no successes. I know it doesn't matter, but that's how bad it happened.
Well, that's very, very fucking good, because on 10 dice, I managed to get 1 success.
Absolutely killing me here.
I need.
With these random dice.
1 fucking success. So, Jesus Herbert Christ. That is a success. That just means I accumulate successes toward the 6 I need.
Oh my god.
After a minute, during which there's this very subtle stirring of power in the air that I assume Amelia can pick up on.
Oh yeah, her ears are perked right up. So are Corganzettes. Like, they turn and they're watching you like predator animals. Like things that hunt. They're like, what is happening? Like, you can see your essence, like the actual kaleidoscope of ancient power, reflecting in their eyes, and for just a moment they have shark eyes.
That's heartening. Let's see. A minute later, I get to roll again.
To be honest, I don't know why you wouldn't do the 15-minute intervals. It's not like it's not like anyone's going to be interrupting this.
2 successes this time. Where are you?
A single success. Okay, so I'm not doing all these goddamn rolls. This is a nightmare. So,
Well, I'm a third of the way there. Let's try it again.
holy shit.
Okay. 4 successes this time. So if you flubbed it, I'm there. After 3 minutes of counting.
I will press the roll button, and on that one I got a 10, a 10, and a 9, and I do not care. You cast the spell.
Thank you, Dice Rolls. This is making this game so exciting.
Okay, so my first.
Oh my fucking Christ! I did again just for shits and giggles. 6 successes.
There it is.
There we go.
So
there we go. There.
I feel like this is something. I think I should point this out to potential storytellers. If you know for a fact you're not going to interrupt the player casting a spell, just fucking tell them to take the 15-minute intervals. All right, it don't matter. They don't need to spend the resources. If there's no downside to them botching or failing, just fucking let it happen. Just move on, okay? Now, I did have an idea to have this be a thing where you got to hold off a wave while you have to cast a spell, but I also want to get through this fucking session so it's not 2 or 3 more sessions, so I just didn't do that. You can see the setup, though. Like, there's alcoves in the wall, there's enemies, there's pillars, there's cover. You can see all the bits and pieces were there for that, but you guys you move past it. Moving past it.
Yep, and also if I had spent 3, if we were in that situation, and I'd spent 3 willpower, I could be doing rolls at 1 turn intervals instead of 1 minute.
Yeah. So minute, 15 minutes, every turn. These options are available to you if you play a spellcasting character. But for Christ's sakes, for the storytellers, respect your players' times and move the fuck on. Don't make them roll every goddamn roll. Anyway. Holden, what the fuck does this spell do now that you've actually cast it?
Okay, now as the spell finally goes off. Oh Jesus H, that's too good. As the spell finally goes off, dozens of sets of softly glowing silver wings appear to enfold Raffi and Damien.
Yep.
And then fade away, and they're gone. They're not here no more.
Yeah,
fucking vanished. You did it! Freedom, freedom, freedom!
And now we get yeeted into this thing's astral landscape.
Okay, so there's a brief loading screen as the assets click on in, and you find yourselves in an empty gray and white void of mist, perpetually lit by ambient, kind of all around you, ethereal light. The mist clearly parts as the loading finishes, and the loading is the metaphor for me thinking this up as I'm talking right now, and you find yourself in front of a building. It's connected to nothing. It's in the middle of what would have been a strip mall, and it's called, in big, fun, Super Mario copyright infringing bubble letters, Electric Wonderland.
And we're back to session 2, guys. And we crawl all the way through Electric Wonderland to go deeper.
Oh my god, right? Incept this asshole. So, it looks like a strip mall building that you can enter with a glass front that has, the ability to look into, this being a arcade.
Yeah, let's walk up and peer in through the glass. Also, for any mage players listening in and wondering, we are not astrally projecting, we are physically present in the astral with our good old meat bodies. Our good old meat bodies. To briefly cut back
to where you guys are, you aren't in front of the coffin anymore. Amelia, Corgazette are alone in the room and are dealing with other things. You guys physically are gone. You left. So putting your face up to the glass, it's a 70s, 80s arcade. Like, it even looks like the machines are new. There's lights and sounds, signs everywhere. They have theaters inside. They have birthday party rooms inside. There's laser tag. There's an animatronic band. What else is good? They've got a pool on one of the basement levels. Like, it's a whole thing.
I'm looking around the whole parking lot, dreamscape around us for any signs of that mold, that rot, that Silent Hill funk.
Well, if you walk away from the building and like circle its circumference, and cause it's not the whole strip mall, it's just this part of it. Like, it just ends after a while, where it'd be connected to a different building or connected to like the foundation. But circling this place, you can see where the foundation of the building doesn't quite overlap with the actual weird ethereal ground of this dimension. And if you kind of just like get on your hands and knees and look under the concrete like pad to like where it doesn't quite settle on the ground, you can see the space in between the ground and the building, and it's like right over top of a rotting sinkhole.
Now.
And like the ground has gotten soft and moldy, and it's beating, and it has like mold webbing on it and stuff. It looks like a fucking nightmare from Stranger Things, like the Upside Down. Like it looks like it's gone as bad as it could get.
I poke it with the baseball bat that I've carried into this guy's dream with me.
It is not pleasant to look at, and it has an extremely hostile aura to it. This stuff is toxic.
Every dream.
So, what are we doing here, Rafi?
Well, in dreams you play it by ear, and I might have a notion, but before I play out that hunch, I'd like to find out a little bit more about what's going on, what's happened here. How do you feel like about poking your head into the building for a minute?
Okay. Let's go.
All right. The inside of the inside of Electric Wonderland, it looks pristine and brand new, and everything in here is running efficiently. It looks like an empty, arcade in the prime of its life. There's clear signs of care and attention to detail and independent ownership of this place that just looks like it's not a franchise or anything. It's just its own thing. Those weird things you used to be able to go to back when you were a kid if you grew up in the shadow of the arcade era.
Oh God, I hate myself. Dr. Fundamentals?
A series of mirrors against a wall that's just like supposed to be like funhouse mirrors. The lights on them start like blinking up, and you see in the reflections walking across the mirrors and changing shape because they're funhouse mirrors. Like Dr. Fundamentals dressed as his Willy Wonka-esque alter ego, just kind of walking by and talking about, welcome children, blah, blah, blah. Like doing a whole thing, a whole like, I'm a Willy Wonka, this is a wonderful place, believe in your dreams, free quarters every Saturday, blah, blah, blah. Like, just a super pleasant fucking thing in a mirror.
There's no earthly way of knowing.
He's down there, though, against the wall, like in those mirrors.
Let's head over to the mirrors.
All right, so as soon as you get within sight, he kind of looks up. Well, hello there, Star Child. You're a bit old. You're a bit big for most of my patrons.
Well, I'm sorry.
There's no need to be sorry in the Electric Wonderland, only engaged.
Do you recognize us? We've spoken, or at least I think I've spoken to part of you before now.
Maybe I've seen you in a dream, but I have a lot of dreams. You have to have dreams in this day and age. Turn of the century, the millennium's coming. Did you know that they say the first mortal to live to 150 has already been conceived?
I had not heard that.
It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, what a day.
What a day indeed. But I'm actually a little bit more interested in more recent dreams. Maybe even nightmares?
We don't deal with nightmares here. That's for outside the Wonderland. Or after hours. You can't really have the day without the night, after all. I was watching a painting show that talked about that. You gotta have a little sad with the happy.
A little bitter with the sweet.
Yeah. You can't get the spoonful of sugar if there's not medicine to go with it.
And,
There's
so
a
what do you
banging
think, Doc?
behind the glass when you start mentioning nightmares, and it just kind of stops very quickly.
Hmm. You alone in here, Doc?
Well, I mean, we're open, so anyone can come on by, but I don't think we're really that full right now.
How would you feel if I went poking around in the back rooms in the say the basement here, Doc?
Well, I couldn't stop you because I'm in a mirror, but you shouldn't really go where the guests aren't supposed to go. You could get yourself hurt, and that's not fun. You don't want to spend your whole summer in a cast. There's only so many days of summer in your life, little scamp.
Hurt by what, Doc?
There's banging behind the glass. It's just we have Galaga and Gradius and BattleTech. We have BattleTech pods.
Yeah, Doc, but what's got you?
There's a cracking in the mirror. I don't think you want to ask those questions.
You want me to crack the case, Rafi?
We're here to help, Doc. Is there any way you
Well,
can help us to help you?
I mean, hmm, at least be on your guard.
How's this location treating you, Doc?
I mean,
I've heard of your
it's
business, but I don't know that I found it here. You know?
well, this is the first location we're gonna have, but I imagine once I get approval from the prince to franchise out, I could probably go into other areas. We might have an Electric Wonderland Epcot. That could be fun, or maybe a Houston, or maybe a space shuttle Electric Wonderland for the launches. The space age is going to be so big. The kids are going to love it. They like space now. But
Space, huh?
yeah, I don't know about moving. I've been here so long, and if I move, I'll have to unbox things. I'll have to put it away, and I'll have to sterilize areas and clean, and that'll be a hassle. You can't really take asbestos out because people get sick. It's probably for the best just to leave it in. You know, that's fine.
Note to self: get checkup after you get done with this job.
Dream asbestos.
There's more banging behind that
These are
glass.
real lungs, bud. Oh, Rafi just sets the tip of his bat against the mirror.
Well, you got to be careful with broken glass. You'll cut yourself, and you don't want to get an infection or tetanus.
There's sure you sure there's nothing you can remember and recollect safely, Doc, without anything you could tell us? Anything at all?
I mean, I think you have all the tools to solve this problem without my help. You've been already doing a pretty good job on your own, haven't you?
Well, it's always better to get by with a little help from the local community, isn't it?
You're gonna have to be really careful. I can't hold them back anymore.
How much of you is left in there to save? Honestly, now.
I don't have an answer to that question. It's been a bit of a trip. By the way, you hear that whimpering sound you were hearing on the outside from the dolls, and if you look around, they're starting to like come up from in between rows of arcade machines, and they look just like dolls. They're just like people in clothes in the '80s, and they're like holding their face, but they don't have fingers. They just have hands, and they have nothing on their face, and they're whimpering, and they're crawling on the ground, and they're starting to get close to you. Don't eat
Talk
those.
again, Doc. Oh. Oh.
They're not right.
Oh, Doc, you fucked it up pretty bad, didn't you?
I was hungry. I'm always hungry, but I was hungry.
Damien, let's have a quick powwow outside.
That banging is getting louder and more alarming.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm double timing it back toward the doors.
Okay.
Okay. What are you thinking?
Do we get back out to the street?
You will get back out to the street, sure, and then we'll have a conversation about what's going to happen next after you have your talk with Damien.
So
Raffi scuffs his heel at like the edge of the front door, like as though he could maybe scrape back a little bit of the pavement with his shoe. Stomps the ground with his heel, see if it still feels like asphalt there.
Do you need it to be?
I got an idea that might work. Can you watch my back while I try it?
Okay.
Okay. So
we might be getting bum rushed from inside there any second now.
That's absolutely going to happen. What you want to do in this scenario to stop this thing from spreading, as the allegory goes, is keep things boarded up inside the complex. So if Damien can go on in there and keep those dolls and whatever the vampires from escaping, that would probably help you guys out a lot for whatever you're trying to pull.
Well, I've noticed this thing seems to be sitting over some kind of god-awful sinkhole of doom. And, sending up some kind of nightmares up inside the walls, behind the facades of the building. I mean, is that congruent with what we've seen so far?
That is exactly congruent with what you've seen so far.
Well, I don't actually know how to carve the infection out of the entertainment complex.
But I couldn't tell if that was a question or a follow-up.
Yeah, but I do know how to take the entertainment complex away from the source of the infection there.
Oh my god. All right. So I'm assuming the plan is your sidereal charm of neighborhood relocation complex. Neighborhood relocation. What's the full name of that?
Scheme. Neighborhood relocation scheme.
I see. Okay. Well, if you're going to try and do that, then Damien, all you got to do is keep them contained into the facility.
Okay, then. I guess I ready my 12 gouge fist and start punching anything that comes close.
All right, you're going to head inside?
Yeah.
Okay, the main
Raffi
thing.
cracks his knuckles. Oh, sorry, go on.
So the main thing you're going to be doing is pushing these dolls back away from the door. The dolls are not a threat to you. There's just a lot of them, and they could possibly weigh you down if they start to swarm you.
Okay. That's fine.
Raffi looks up toward the sky. It's, what is it, daytime right now? Nighttime?
It's like no time. It's always kind of just backlit.
Well, somewhere out there past the mood lighting, there's always stars. He reaches up, just let instinct guide his hand, tweezes his fingers together, and pulls down a long cerulean prayer strip, burning with some sort of characters that look vaguely Asian, but are absolutely positively not in any language that he's been able to turn up on Google.
Are they the classic? Are they those classic thick hieroglyphs?
Oh yeah, no,
Perfect.
something old realmy. So
yeah.
Raffi whips that prayer strip out, and now just after like 2 good shakes, it's a good like 3.5 feet long, almost like one of those novelty scrolls. Like you just unroll it and like hits the floor and keeps fucking going.
Yeah, we all can visualize that, I'm sure, from many sight gags.
So he whips the strip around, ties it off on his waist, and touches one end of it to the door of the entertainment complex. I'm getting
Electric Wonderland.
Electric Wonderland. Touched it to
Back
the
before it
doors of
became.
Wonderland.
Back before capitalism and the crushing weight of childhood escapism turned it into the Mantertainment Complex.
By this point, Raffi's actually, so we're basically in the same. Yeah, okay. And as he does so, a sapphire aura starts rising up and wisps like smoke from his skin. We're finally at the point where the anima is visible, folks.
Yay! It took forever for Raffi to get up there.
So many scenes. I kept just resetting because we got to a new scene.
Right?
But that's 4 in a go. Between the purification and neighborhood relocation scheme, and holy shit, that takes me down to 3 motes.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So, for neighborhood relocation scheme, what do you need now to complete relocating it? Like, do you just need time and movement actions?
Pretty much. There's no roll now that I've got it hooked to the building. I'm just going to take off.
Okay.
So he limbers up, goes down to one knee, then the other, takes a deep breath, and sprints.
So you sprint, and you're keeping that sprint, and like the rope staying taut, and you're going as hard as you can, but the building is not moving comparatively fast to what you're doing. Like, it should just be flown along and matching your speed, but this is the astral and it's a dream and there's abstractions layers at play here. So it's like centimeter by centimeter, you are dragging this fucking building off of the sinkhole, and everything inside is losing its mind.
I'm imagining like big old thick threads of like mycelial
threads
and shit.
And
snapping as we're dragging it off. Oh boy, that's good.
Everything is howling in the dream. Back where Amelia Corgan's at, our howling is coming from the safe that you guys were on top of, and all those tanks detonate and explode, even though they weren't quite, the wall alcove tanks, even though they weren't even working before, and half-finished dolls fall out onto the floor like not even cooked. And out of the massive dolls, because a couple actually did hit maturity, not the victim-looking dolls, these ones look more articulated. 2 of them get up, they have fingers, their faces are pointed and have like eye symbols carved into them, and they were actually born with like vaguely military, like urban military clothing, like camo and jeans and slacks and like bandoliers and meshes for weapons, and an actual gun like came out of the tank with them, and it looks like it's half grown, like it's not fully all the way there yet. And they get up and start looking at the sarcophagus, at the safe. And that's when Amelia Corganzette realized that they just got pulled into a combat that they're going to have to deal with while you're in the dreaming. Because while the victims are useless, the ones that got mature, there are a couple of soldiers here.
I don't like that there are soldiers. That's bad.
Technically, the term for them would be Praetorian, but that's if you're pretentious. They are soldiers.
Oh, shit.
I guess if you were being spicy, you'd call them guerrillas. So, Damien, while this thing is being dragged off of its stump, you are in the Mantertainment, or you're in Electric Wonderland. The dolls are screaming and like whimpering and are on the ground like freaking out, and a lot of them are trying to jump onto you and weigh you down. And I'm just assuming you have no time for it, and I'm just going to gloss over them trying to like, you know, give you a penalty for right now. But every single one of those mirrors explodes outwards towards you, and behind it's just a big, empty, Silent Hill rotted reflection of the Mantertainment Complex, and a giant, like, stretched out, twisted, pallid, like, white and grave earthy looking, like, super vampire comes out. Like, it's 12 feet tall. It looks like a Grave Encounters bad CGI horror monster from that era of horror. Like, you know, big stretchy face, Nosferatu looking, pale, big, you know, white eyes, long multi-segmented claws. The jaw does that stupid CGI thing when it roars. You know the one. In your heart, you know the one.
The mommy roar.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like it's not in any clothes. It's like it's fucking naked and just covered in scraggly hair and looks more like, I guess it would look more like what like an irradiated werewolf in Krynos form would probably look like than it does a vampire at this point. Like it's just something's been done to it. It's gonna charge right at you, like full tilt, roll initiative.
Combat.
Yeah, how delectable, how delectably devious, Skinner.
I only rolled a 2, so I have an initiative of 9.
Oh, you piece of shit. Okay, what did I
your
roll?
Initiative, Kevin?
Not a 9. That's what it is. Not a 9. Okay, so you get your first jump on Dr. Fundamental's astral form.
Let me look at my charms. Probably gonna excellence this and.
Oh, probably right. You know. Look, Pete, I'm going to be real with you. There is no conflict after this, so you don't have to worry about any resource hoarding.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
So, like, spend all your willpower all day, every day.
I'll activate my Hungry Tiger technique and excellence to just have 8 again and double my dice pool on fighting rolls.
Oh,
what is
my
its
God.
Defense?
Okay, well, it can feel fear, so how much defense do you subtract?
5. Oh, yeah, I guess I
There
spent
it is.
my willpower to activate my cast mark.
Ah, there it is. We can just be real here today. So his defense was 5, so his defense is 0.
Okay. That looks like 20 dice. 8.
So I feel at this point, listeners, I should point out that by this point, 5 sessions in, I should have learned my lesson and buffed up his defense. But I would like to counter that observation with, I really want to wrap this up. We're already 3 sessions past what I thought this would go. So I did not increase the defense to like 10, so it'd have defense 5. All right? I get it. I know I could have made this harder.
It's like the bosses rolled out. The camera's panned up, dun, 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 dun. Huge, theater shaking roar. They square off. Camera pulls back. Camera settles. Tekken music starts playing. Round 1.
I go, let's go. 1 punch. 12 successes plus 3, so that's 15 health going its way.
That's it. No, okay, that's all of it. There it is. How much damage was that again?
15.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Perfect. Yeah. So Dr. Fundamentals had 12 health levels, natural weapons, wall climbing. It was going to be like a chase, maybe, or a thing. It's not going to happen with the Dawn in the party, listeners. Look, okay? Look. Pete did very little work and threw out 15 success. I just want to point out to people who are looking to run and play Solars, like run a game with them, that they hit hard. So your enemies can't just be one big guy. That's why I kept throwing one big guy at him. You should be throwing little guys at them. And you should be doing that because it's hilarious for them to kill little guys in mass. And maybe 2 or 3 medium guys.
Like, don't punch hard, but they might have problems with sustain if you don't take the right charms.
Exactly, which is why you want to diversify your action economy by splitting up between multiple bodies full of liquids.
To be fair, his moats are like really screwed by this point, and so is his health.
Yeah,
this adventure is going to take several days to recover from.
Yeah, we've done 5 sessions of nonstop adventuring over 5 hours, and the Dawn is just now tapping out. So this is another reason I did not buff Dr. Mantertainment to be some sort of Doom machine, because we only had 2 players. Raffi is not built for combat in the slightest, and I just was not interested in making a big, long, prolonged fight where, like, Peter's going to be doing a lot of the fighting, and then having, like, I guess I could have put set piece components in, but these guys solved this with the fucking neighborhood relocation good enough that, you know, it's like maybe Raffi has to go in and, like, while Peter's fighting the monsters, he has to protect Raffi from, like, getting a perfect game on Galaga or something. Like, you could have gone goddamn crazy with this. You could have go really fun with the skill Exalt and the combat Exalts having to, like, do this shit. I did not, because we're looking to move on.
Yeah.
You know, get pinball, tilt, Galaga. You got to get enough tickets. If you get enough tickets, you can buy, like, his soul back from the demon, and then, like, you know, throw it into the void. There's so many ways you could have gone with this that I did not. So, yeah, you punch it to death and it dies. You hit it so hard it goes flying back into the darkness and, like, disintegrates into light.
No.
As the sort of guardian presence of this infestation rouses itself and tries to fight you with stolen power. The remaining scene really is going to be Damien just keeping the mannequins in here. The vampire might reconstitute itself and come at you, but really by the time that becomes a problem, Raffi's going to have moved this thing off the sinkhole, and as soon as you get it off the sinkhole, it starts moving at a much faster clip. And you could just leave this shithole behind.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that's what'll happen. Like, you'll keep moving, and that hole in the ground will leave your sight, and you'll just keep going into the mist forever and ever and ever until you decide you want to stop. Once you do that, the mannequins will just drop dead.
Raffi has, like, 2s in all the physical attributes, and I feel like I actually got any athletics. No, athletics 0. So yeah, he's going to be winded after like 5 fucking minutes of this. Tops.
I just want to ask: is there anything in the charm that stops Damien from picking you up and, like, carrying you?
I have to be moving under my own power.
Okay, so he can't be pushing you.
Yeah, I can't be getting dragged. That will just pull me away from the Mantertainment Complex.
All right.
Alas.
Because, see, I was imagining you're on a jet skiing it across the water.
No, God, believe me, if I could be doing this in a car, I would be.
There's definitely potential for an upgrade that lets you do that. You're just jet skiing a building behind you and you cut it loose and it just crashes into Alcatraz. Now Alcatraz has several casinos.
I also take a level of bashing damage for every hour I keep this up, but as the belt keeps getting tighter and tighter, but like I said, I'm gonna be like just on the ground, just like by the 10-minute mark, so well,
you've cleared away from the sinkhole of evil pretty well. Like, it's gone. Like it's no longer around. You don't see it. When you cut yourself loose from that from the belt, and it all kind of numinously reintegrates itself with the landscape around you because everything here is kind of metaphorical and kind of half energy. You did it. You moved it. When you go inside, all those things in the ground are decomposing, and quite frankly, you can throw them outside away from this place, and that'll probably be for the best. The broken glass just has a wall behind it. No secret Silent Hill place. Dr. Mantertainment, Dr. Fundamentals doesn't show up because he's asleep. He just kicked his ass in multiple dimensions, so he's taken a knee.
So, are we good to wrap? Should we purify this? Should we go back to the real world? How does this work?
Yeah, probably best to finish cleaning this up. I think.
Okay.
Who knows? Mold and rot spread, don't they?
Yes, this would be the perfect opportunity to make a purification roll.
Alrighty.
To purify Dr. Fundamentals of his infection, which, by the way, listeners, is totally on the table. They could just save this asshole.
Yeah. That's one thing about the Exalts. They can come in and solve the problem once and for all. No backsies.
Yeah, no Ravenloft reoccurring evil over generations bullshit.
Whew.
Fuck your shit, Ganon. You don't get to reincarnate.
All right, base pool is 7. What do we got going on here?
We totally
yeah, you soundly kicked this place's ass. Like you did so well on it. It's dealt with. So whatever those bonuses are, probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a hurry.
No, you can just take all the time in the world here, because time also flows differently in dreams too.
Well, that's +2. If we're in an isolated environment, have as much time as we need to do this right.
All right, so those 2 dice plus whatever I said before, the 2 or 3.
Yeah, so that's okay. Call that +3. So
spend willpower if you can.
I'm going to kick it up to 13 because fuck it, why not?
Yeah, don't fudge this part up.
No, please God, no. All right, that takes me then to willpower, but fuck it, what else am I going to use it for today? And okay, it's one of those wonderful Christmas times in the New World of Darkness dice mechanic. I rolled 13 dice and I got 14 successes.
There it is. Well, that's definitely 5, which is definitely exceptional.
The 10s exploded several times over.
There it is. Well, yeah, same deal as last time with you guys. And oh god, you're in the astral or in the dream world, so it's going to get even more abstract. You guys straight up like, when you're drawing a perspective painting, you kind of draw the perspective lines. It looks kind of like when you're red or blue shifting, things kind of just drag along those lines. Everything in here that's those mannequins or the remains of the vampire or any bits of the rot sort of red shift towards you guys and like your anima bonfires as you just slurp up the infestation of bad karma here. Directly out of Dr. Fundamental's astral soul or astral realm. I'm going to give you guys a very quick impression of his life. Vampire, old, doesn't really leave the house because that's not the kind of vampire he is. Mostly just enjoying running his feeding ground because the feeding ground is actually fairly engaging to do. It keeps him busy. And you'll get a pretty clear picture of the night he got infected, one of those mannequins got into the Mantertainment Complex and he fed on it, and it made him real sick. He started getting worse, stopped being able to sleep at night, started getting exceptionally in trouble. And one night when he was sleeping in a sarcophagus, like that big safe, that earthquake hit and it just fucking dropped it onto the floor and sealed him in. And then he couldn't feed on blood anymore and started starving while this infection was running through him, basically converting his vampireness into more infection to keep him up and running and keep him pumped full of energy. Because without vitae, what can vampires really do? You'll get a clear understanding that he got jumped by something. Something infected him that he didn't know about, and the earthquake basically stopped him from spreading out throughout this entire area. Because if he was allowed to go loose, he probably could leave the Mantertainment Complex and go hunting. Yeah. And then you'll kind of come back to your senses in here. The building is slowly restoring itself. It's going to take some time, as with all things. And really, your next action's up to you.
There's something really, really wrong in this city.
Well, I guess we'll have to investigate that once we have some time to recover from all of this entertainment.
And I think we've actually got a vampire who now owes us a very, very big favor. Whatever that's worth. Not actually sure what that's worth. Guess we're going to find out.
With the infinite tokens in the arcade.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's crack open the safe and see what's inside. What's our loot pinata here?
I mean, are you guys back in the real world? Like, how does that work? How do you guys get back to the real world?
I got to do the spell again. And looking at it, I actually forgot.
Damn it! Do you not have an escape plan? Do you just live in the astral now?
No, I can get us out of here. The problem is that I forgot that I wrote the fucking spell such that when you use it to leave the astral, because it's actually not just for jumping into dreams. You can like go jump into other people's dreams, jump into the mass subconscious of reality. So it doesn't know. I don't know where the fuck you're actually going to be when you decide to leave. So I set this thing to dump you out, rather than where you went in, to dump you out at the last place the caster went to sleep. So this is going to throw us back into my apartment.
So next time, before you do this, have a quick 15-minute nap, and then...
Yeah, you should have saved.
For the sake of like us not having to do another entire session where we come back to the Mantertainment Complex the next night to follow up, let's fucking ignore that and just say it throws us back out.
Let's just smooth that over a little bit. It's fine.
I will be adding a rider where if you use it while inside someone's dream, it just puts you out where they are asleep.
So we'll be inside of the safe now.
Because well, this is the current version is funny. I'm not going to do that to us.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
honestly,
I gotta spend another mote and get us the fuck out of here.
If you want to be the best of both worlds, keep the original rider that you go back to where your save point was where you last slept, and then just give the player an option to spend a willpower to pop out where they popped in.
Fair enough.
If it matters,
I just get all my willpower back again. So.
Yeah, so, if it really matters to them, they can just spend that willpower, and if not, they're like, I'm sorry, guys, we didn't think this through, I should have taken a nap.
Guys, I can't cast a spell. I slept over the Pacific Ocean on the flight over here.
Damn it, guys.
Yeah. Now that I think of it, actually makes it also uniquely shitty for using to like break out of jail by jumping in the astral world.
Yeah.
Yeah, put the willpower rider in, and that's hilarious.
Yeah, okay, whoopsie doodle. Spending a willpower. Game design on the fucking fly. Alright.
I mean, that's the thing, right?
And a rain of white petals and quicksilver, we reappear.
Okay, so you are back in the main vampire room. You had left before you went in. It's clear time has passed because there are people in they're not Men in Black. Okay, let's fucking first talk about this. These are not Men in Black. These are people in just nice professional wear suits, navy blue, off grays. They're not. This isn't a whole uniform alphabet letter organization here fucking with you, but there's professionals here. Two of them and a guy in a gas mask. It kind of looks like in a big heavy coat to cover most of his body and face, and he's wearing gloves and shit. That makes sense. COVID. Um, and they're basically looking over the room, bagging stuff, burning other things. And they all kind of turn when you pop in, and Korgzet and Amelia are. Well, Amelia's here. Korgzet aren't here. And there's signs of gunfire have gone off in here. And Amelia has her arm in a sling with a very clear bullet wound in her shoulder.
Okay, so we missed something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
hi.
yeah. Hi. Things happened while you were gone. It's been about 4 hours.
Yeah, it didn't feel that long.
The people in the suits are just observing.
So who are your friends?
They are not my friends.
So you'll notice I went with Captain Punches here, and I don't have any more holes in me than I had when I left. Just noting that for the future.
Yeah. Fair enough. But it was probably for the best I stayed here, so Korgzet didn't abandon all the prey. Because things came out of the walls after you left. Were you doing something in there, perhaps?
Yeah, you could say we did a thing.
Stirring stuff up, making enemies.
I just went for a jog. I don't know about Damien, but
I mean, stuff came out of the walls, so I punched it back into the walls.
You'll notice that the infection is no longer in this place. Not on the computer, not in the safe.
seems to have worked out for the best.
Yes. So, did you kill the vampire?
Not that I know of.
I mean, we just went into this dream. I don't think you can kill people through their dreams.
Oh, you can totally kill people.
You can kill people in their dreams. A bunch of people say that.
What is this, the Matrix?
The Matrix, not Inception, not Nightmare on Elm Street, not any other thing where the mind makes it real. The Matrix.
I'm a simple person, Devin.
Simple foods.
I'm a simple zoomer.
Oh my god.
No, as far as I know, there's currently nothing wrong with Vampire except that he's hungry and this coffin's trapped wrong side down, so he can't open it.
Does anyone want to fix that?
I mean, like, if I had a long, mechanical Waldo, maybe?
I limber up my fist and just
there
punch
it is.
It.
All right, you crack this Kinder Surprise egg. Oh, right, you're from America, Holden. You crack this pinata open and see the treasure inside. For reference to the listeners who aren't from the States, in the States they don't have Kinder Surprise, they're verboten.
It's illegal because there's choking hazards at the side of edible stuff, and kids don't know how to deal with that.
I died every single Easter.
You know, I'm not sure that was a good idea if we don't actually have anything to feed it right when it... Oh, shit. Here we go.
The safe opens up. There's a dead body inside, like all vampires are when they're, in torpor. Because he's in torpor. Because that's what happens to vampires when they starve.
Okay,
the body,
worse.
Shuts off and becomes a corpse. So Dr. Mantertainment looks, or Dr. Fundamentals, Jesus H. Christ, Dr. Mantertainment. So Dr. Fundamentals looks pretty ragged as far as corpses go. Like, he looks like a corpse for one. He's in loungewear essentially, and there's clear signs of damage to his body and stuff. And he looks like he's had a rough time of being dead. The other people in suits in the room had what amounted to a little flamethrower on hand, just in case, like a welding torch, but it looks like that will not be necessary, and they turn it off and put it away.
So, Amelia, who are these fine gentlemen again?
Okay, well, they're not fine. They're not gentlemen, and again, not my friends. You know what? They're vampire people. Best way to put it. How about you escort me out of here without them holding me for questioning?
So when you say vampire people, like, is that like people who deal with vampires or people who are vampires? Because
And like they're watching you,
which
not
would
really
freak me out more.
talking. And Amelia's like, well, the suits aren't vampires; they're just Renfields. The guy in the gas mask's a vampire, and he has no jurisdiction to hold me here.
When you wake that guy up, he owes me a favor. I'll be back later, probably on Wings Night.
The guy.
We're gonna go.
The guy in the gas mask that was he was saying at the desk, kind of looking at you guys. You hear laughter, but it sounds like laughter that would come off of like magnetic tape. Like there's a very magnetic tape crispness to it, and just kind of waves you on.
Leaving us now. Bye.
Is nothing else in the safe?
As you walk by, though, he will leave. He will give you a business card.
Thank you.
It just has numbers on it. It just has numbers on it. That's all.
What is name pilfering technique when you need it?
Right? But no, there was nothing inside the safe. It was his fucking bed. Come on. The treasure here was the roundup, all the money you could possibly steal, and Amelia getting pictures of that computer screen. That were the treasure people were here for. So again, all the money you could steal upstairs, it's just yours.
Okay.
There weren't artifacts here. There's not a diclave and a manse.
Well, you know, he could be a dragon-type vampire where he sleeps on his gold or something like that.
What? You want 1,000 tokens?
A cash register. Yeah, I'm definitely smashing a cash register or two with a baseball bat on the way out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. You can rob this place quite a bit, and it's okay, morally and legally.
Oh, I mean in the mall.
Oh, no, absolutely. I meant that, too. There's no moral problem with stealing from a mall.
Would not impose on the Mantertainment Complex at this point. It scares me too badly.
I don't want that money. It's unclean. Something's wrong with it. I know where
it's been.
Oh. The guy who has to pull wadded up bills out of the Lola Bunny animatronic.
Oh no.
So we set up the chain and find along the way.
Yeah, you guys can pull. Look, I don't know how resources work in CofD anymore because I don't remember how anything works in anything anymore. But I'm pretty sure if you can get resources for stealing or if there's equipment bonuses, I don't fucking remember. It's here and available. We can negotiate it afterwards. You got money.
Basically, we've got some cash. It's in no way guaranteed to be... It's basically vulnerable to being stolen or fucked with, and it's not guaranteed to renew itself because we.
If you want me to throw you a number, just off the top of my head, you each can take 10 grand out of this place.
Oh, shit, I'll take it.
Like the back room safes were still full and everything. Yeah, you just rob this place a little. There's jewelry in the jewelry stores.
That's a whole different thing. You have to pawn it and out.
Yeah, but you pawn in bulk. Or you just give it out. Like you can just be that dude, Peter, where it's like someone's like, I don't know, are you gonna bribe me? And you like take out a handful of rings and put them in his hand. He's like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess that's a pretty good bribe. Sure, you got me. I was expecting a couple hundies.
You know what? I forgot to ever use my inspiration condition this whole entire adventure.
Yeah, you did.
I used it on that spell to get us the fuck out of the dream.
There it is. Okay, you get your beat for resolving inspiration. That's how that works, right?
Yeah. Give me that beat.
There it is. I need that goddamn beat. Okay, well, you and Amelia, you guys and Amelia rob this place a little. On your way up, you see that there's a clear hole ripped through the food court where Corganzette ran amok, including a hole that kind of makes its way up to the area you guys are going to, and it looks like the elevator's been used and bashed up a bunch. And you take your ride to the top floor. It's 11 a.m. outside. The sun is shining. It is 39 degrees out. 110% humidity.
Miami. Not quite Night City anymore, but it'll be back soon.
Yeah, everyone is upset at this, at having to be outside. Some of the guys, like the normal people, like just the bait, they're outside being like, being tended to in an ambulance and just like getting water and stuff. They all wave at you as you walk out.
Raffi waves back, pulls her sunglasses out of his pocket, puts them on. And because of my strangeness for being a sorcerer, the night sky is reflected in the lenses.
Sick. That's a fucking awesome album cover. Vaporwave aesthetic. There are clear drag marks on the ground outside of the mall where it looks like Corgan's dragged that Prince of Darkness tank all the way through the parking lot, ripping up all the gravel along the way to a vehicle they parked, across the street from the parking lot in an alleyway that, that's where the tracks end.
What do you figure the chances that they loaded that thing into something that looked exactly like the fucking Dragula?
Oh my god.
It's a Dragula.
So, moving past that, Amelia will just, talk to you guys as you walk. So you guys really pulled that off today. That was a suicide mission. Good job. Man, we were over our heads.
Yeah, we should probably have a little talk about that whole baiting people into suicide missions thing.
Okay. First of all, I didn't know it was a suicide mission. I thought I had things handled. I thought I had shit locked down. A. B. The spell calls in prey and hunters and the hunters. Or not hunters, goddammit. Predators, hunters, and bait. I thought Corganzette would count as the hunters for the ritual, but hey, you guys showed up, so everything sort of worked out in the end anyway. Just throwing that out there. And look, you have a bunch of connections to the supernatural world, which I assume you want because you certainly cultivated enough of them in one night. Like, if you wanted anything else but supernatural connections, I feel you got screwed.
Well, if we need to make a connection with a cook, I guess we could go across the parking lot still, but yeah, that's pretty much what we're after.
Alright, so look at that. Looks like everything worked out exactly as everyone wanted to, and nobody even died. And trust me, we were in over our head there. So, you get to be heroes, I get paid, my boss is over there, I can introduce you to him. Look, another soft introduction. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
I glance over at Damien, see how he was taking all this.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, let's take the win.
Yeah. She's like, there you go. Sometimes you can just take the win. Trust me, there's going to be more complicated nights in Miami if you're hanging out in Night City, okay? So just take it today, and it's fine. And everything's fine. So, Raffi, I have some very important questions for you. Where did you graduate high school from?
I have no fucking idea what any of the Miami high schools are, but I'll name one.
But it was a Miami high school?
Fuck if I know. I've never been to Miami. I've been in Miami for like 3 hours my entire life on layover.
Okay. Well, one, even if I'm not from America, I can tell you, Holden, Miami has high schools. So, if Raffi wants to have gone to high school in Miami, that's what I'm just trying to fish out here, if he's local.
No, he's local.
Okay. All right, we're good. I don't know much about Florida, but I have a hunch they have schools there.
Well, yeah, I'm saying I don't know which one he attended.
No, that's fine. I wasn't asking you for that.
My name was probably had a fucking Spanish name, but that's about as close as I can get you.
The name was going to be Evil Knievel High if it's Miami.
All right.
Leonard Skinner Vocational Institute.
Leonard Skinner is actually Jacksonville. No shit. They grew up here.
It's like you live in a cartoon.
They
Okay.
attended the same fucking elementary school I did.
Ah. So anyway,
so you guys walk up to a limo. It's a limo. There are clearly armed guards there. Like, they're not wearing nice suits. They're wearing like tactical gear with clothing over top of it. There's like one or two of those guys hanging out by the limo. And a guy gets out of the limo, and holy shit, Raffi, you recognize him from high school. You guys graduated together.
Well, damn, isn't it a small world?
Yeah. He recognizes you immediately. Let me ask you this. Were you involved enough in high school to remember people's names years later?
Well, I'm a reporter, so probably I've got a head for names.
Okay. So this guy's name is Benjamin Smith. There was a mistake on his birth certificate. He was relentlessly bullied for it.
I was about to ask if he was named by like the same guy who did like that Japanese baseball game on the NES.
Every name in every one of my games are one of those names. Anyway, Benjamin
Genji, long time no see.
He waves at you. He has a cane now, and he is covered in lightning scars. And one of his eyes is like white because it looks like it was struck by lightning. And he waves like, "Oh my god! What are you doing here? What's happening? What's going on right now? Am I being punked?"
Yeah, possibly.
What is the K man going to come out? The Cooch? Is he going to come here and just show? Are you magic?
He waves his,
You're
waves
magic.
His hand back and forth.
You can sense that there's something not off with him, but there's like an energy to him. Not like he is magic, but magic has certainly touched him. You can pick that.
No, says the guy whose glasses are still like reflecting the night sky in real time at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, that's not just like a style note that nobody notices. If you're paying attention, you can see that shit.
Right? Like, it's noticeable. You can see constellations if it's a clear night. It's a whole thing. And who's this 2x4 made of cement that you're walking around with?
hi, I'm Damien.
Damien? Like from the Omen?
No, I'm from LA.
That's there it is. There it is. That was what I was looking for. Perfect. Oh man, so wait, do you have magic friends?
Maybe I've just made a couple.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my god, it's such a small world. Okay, well, Amelia, Amelia, you got what I need, right? You got it all? You got it? Amelia's like, "Yep, here it is." Hands over the phone. He looks at it. "I understand this. Send." "Okay, perfect. Here is your money. We're good. You can, like, I don't know, do you want to ride with me or you can go? I'll call you." She just nods at both of you, gives you her card, and is going to just walk away from this. So what did you do out of high school? Were you always magic?
No. It's a new thing. New things going on.
Okay, so it must have happened. It could be better. Like, after the coma, things have been going great for me. But like, I guess you were magic during that time. I guess that's why I never caught up on it. I always meant to call after we graduated to kind of check in on that.
Nobody ever does. Don't worry about it. Oh, coma, man, that's rough.
Oh yeah, the doctors were surprised I survived the fall and the lightning, but apparently I walked right out of it. Now that you're thinking about it, you don't remember seeing him at graduation. Like he went to all his classes and like he left high school when you did, but you don't remember him graduating? He wasn't at graduation. There's a vague, dim memory that there was something going on about that in the back of your head. So, like, how did you become magic? It's killing me. I gotta know how you're magic.
Man, it's mystery to me as well. Just one day.
One day you just got struck by lightning?
No. Not. Damn. have no idea if he's touchy about this. No, not like that.
All
Although
right,
it was
all
kind of
right.
like just a clear bolt out of the blue, but only in a metaphorical sense.
Not a real bolt.
No, 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 no.
Oh, that's disappointing. I mean, it's fascinating. It's just okay. What about you? When did you get struck by lightning?
No, I mean you. No, I mean you know you'd think it makes sense, like work for the Flash, but
Yeah. He says to Damien. What about you? When did you get struck by lightning?
It's been a few months, not that long.
All right, but it happened to you?
Yeah. Well, kind of.
All right. So 2 out of 3 of us. Okay, that makes sense to me. All right, that makes sense to me. Geez, guys, I didn't really expect to meet you here. I don't really have anything, for you. Like, I have money. If you want money, I could give you money. You got to do stuff for me to give you money. It's part of the rules.
yeah, that's how most places work.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh, introductions, jobs, sure. That's kind of looking to get a feel for what's going on in Night City. We maybe even in the problem-solving market seems to be what we're good
Oh,
at.
wow. Could I use problem solvers? There's a lot going on in this city, and my contemporaries are just up in arms about it. I get letters, I have to do missions and stuff. It's been a whole thing. I'm so glad I found Amelia. She is really great at troubleshooting some of these things. I am not enjoying the extra work I'm being handed.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I could see it. Yeah.
So, gosh, I guess we should keep in touch about this because I don't know. Having a familiar face around is nice. I haven't really been talking to a lot of people ever since, school. So I've been looking
Yeah,
for.
I mean, do you have a card? I would give you mine, but people tend to lose them. It's the damnedest thing.
Oh yeah. He points to one of the guards, and they'll give you a cell phone.
All right.
Unlimited minutes. It works like underground, underwater. It connects to the moon Wi-Fi. All the things you'll need.
All right. All right. First rate.
Yeah. Oh wow. Do you guys want to get breakfast?
I could go for a coffee. Been up all night.
Okay. All right. Cool. I mean, I have showers at my place, like a bunch of them. I don't think I've used all of them.
A little bit weird. So, okay, yeah, Damien. We'll catch up, right?
Sure.
I didn't hallucinate you punching a sexy rat to death, right?
No, that was real. It was all real.
Shit.
What? There are werewolves down there?
No, God, I wish.
All right. Okay. Because I hear those are real.
Mantertainment Complex.
No, I haven't.
It's a great place. You should go.
All right, I guess I'll have to see. So if you want to split there, he'll bring you into the limo, Rafi, and drive you to his place, which is the penthouse of one of those big fancy condos in Miami. That's for rich folk. The one that's the top 5 floors are the penthouse. One of those setups.
Holy shit. Yeah.
So he has space for you to hang out and not be intrusive. If you want to hang, get coffee, he has food brought up. He'll shoot the shit with you about high school. If you want to not beat around the bush and get his story, I can give it to you real quick.
Yeah, since we're actually 2 hours or so over anyway.
So his backstory, he'll give you pretty succinctly, is he almost got expelled because he hacked into the computer system at his school and found out that he was going to flunk out. So he just changed it and hid the fact that he would get caught. and was going to graduate along with you guys and was pretty okay with that. But his uncle asked him to help him out with some construction work in downtown Miami, putting up neon signs. And then he got struck by lightning in the middle of the day on a cloudless day, went into a coma for 6 months, missed his graduation, didn't graduate. Apparently, the day he woke up, he went down to the hospital cafeteria or like the little like drugstore, bought a lotto ticket, and then went back to bed. Then he woke up again. Lotto ticket made him a bunch of money. Didn't know what to do with it. His computers kept freezing. They kept freezing on Bitcoin sites. Spent the money on Bitcoin. Realized that Bitcoin then exploded in value, and then he couldn't get the money out. So then he started to learn how to spend the Bitcoin money he couldn't withdraw for some reason. He just couldn't figure it out. It wouldn't work ever. And that led him to the dark web. He made some trades and some deals trying to buy like, houses or cars. Ended up buying boxes out like across the ocean in like the Middle East, in Russia, in China. And those boxes had things in them that he ended up selling to other people hoping to get money, but they still couldn't get him money. And then eventually they got him instructions on how to get his birth certificate cleared up because he was declared legally dead in the coma after lightning struck him. And like everything was a huge fucking nightmare for him. Like he couldn't get a job. He couldn't have a bank account. He couldn't really do anything. So he ended up doing a bunch of little trades on the dark web until he got instructions to go to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., go into a secret room behind a painting where there was a birth certificate terminal from the 1960s, put his birth certificate in, changed his number from whatever his SIN number was to 100, like the number 100, and then a new one printed. And then like the next hour, a limo showed up and took him to his new home. And now he gets like unlimited, like he has like a black credit card that you can just swipe at places and it just pays for things. And that is his story. Also, he's counted as alive now in most systems. And automatic doors open for him again.
Well, as you do.
Yeah. As far as he can tell, he's like... Yeah. As far as he can tell, him and 100 other people are like the first people in the country or something. He doesn't quite know. Apparently slots open up. But now he's one of them. And he just gets a credit card and guards and has to do stuff every once in a while. And he's super willing to tell you that story because Lord knows he can't tell anyone else that story.
He doesn't get to socialize much, does he?
No, he mostly has to go to weird meetings with like people he doesn't really like to meet with who are weird and mad that he's part of the 100, dealing with supernatural stuff all across the world, having guards. He's not really, there's things he's not allowed to do, but he's taken care of. That's his backstory. That's Benjamin Smith's backstory. He got struck by lightning one day and his life took a turn.
Good old Benjamin. Now stuck in Miami's Richmond.
Yeah. So he is super happy to meet a familiar face who's magic and willing to kind of like float you assistance here and there whenever he can. I'm going to point out he doesn't know shit about anything.
Beautiful.
Like most people. Like most people. But on that quick little summary of what this NPC is at the very end of this campaign, before we pick up a season 2 later that we may or may not continue with these two characters, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah. And just, by the way, I just noticed that one of the beat conditions for Exalted is doing purification successfully.
There it is.
And so, as we wrap this campaign, I finally got enough experience for a second to buy a charm. Yay!
Absolutely perfect. So, you guys will rest up, recover. You have a few people you can contact: the vampires, Amelia, Benjamin. And it's a pretty good setup for the Miami situation.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, listeners, I hope you enjoyed this brief preview of Exalted Chronicles of Darkness. We're hoping that it'll get released in time. I'm not going to say soon because stuff still has to be done. I think, there's components of it that beyond just writing, right? Like layout and stuff, right?
Yeah, it needs, now that we've gotten our playtest out, it needs some polish and a little bit of adjusting for balance and for smoothness of play concerns that have come up, but not, not a terrible amount. And then, of course, there's layout, and then
Yeah.
release.
Yeah, so this should be coming. Our plan is to record a season 2 of Hologram Summer that'll be a little more feature length. These 5 sessions you can count kind of as like a mini movie pilot type deal where we just kind of, set up a few things, and in a season 2 we'll probably like have 1 or 2 more players, and we'll actually start to tackle like the big sort of intertwined web of shit going down in the Night City. Which should allow more Exalt types to be highlighted. And you know what, listeners? If you really care about seeing certain Exalt types show up, fucking let us know. And maybe one of the players will be like, oh, people want to see a Lunar? I'll play a Lunar. Or people want to see what Dragon Blooded look like? I'll play a Dragon Blooded. But it's really up to you to get that info to us. Else people are going to play whatever the fuck they want. Like those 2 Infernals we're sketching out in that Exalted WoD revised game.
Dun dun dun.
That's going to be a whole thing. So, wrapping things up, I was Devin.
I'm Peter.
I was holding.
And this is sponsored by Nobody. Signing off.